Good morning. My apologies. I was having a little bout of technical difficulties going in. Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore. My name is Dianne Stewart Hamlin, and I will be conducting meditation this morning. So I just want to ask you to join me in stillness. Just taking a few breaths as we all get centered down. Into the stillness. For today's meditation, I have a reading. It comes from a book entitled The Answer is You, Heart Sets and Mindsets for Self-Discovery by Michael Bernard Beckwith. And today's reading begins on page 19 and is entitled Tapping the Root of Happiness. We will read through halfway on page 22. Okay. I ask you again to just ground yourself wherever you are. Allow yourself to listen to these words with your inner ear and to enter into meditation as if this is your very first time, listening with eagerness. I will read, and then I will bring us into silence so that we can contemplate the words that are read. Who among us does not yearn to be happy? Philosophy, religion, and psychology reveal humanity's efforts to define the meaning of happiness, how to experience it, and how to sustain it. While traditions and beliefs individuate one culture from another, the desire for happiness is the common denominator uniting all beings. I believe that the very purpose of our life is to seek happiness, says His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Aristotle put it this way: happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. When viewed through the lens of the answer is you, we see that happiness has nothing to do with forces outside of ourselves, because we are the producers of happiness as it are pictures in our life structures. We cannot escape a sense of entitlement where happiness is concerned, and for good reason. Happiness is embedded in our essential nature. So how do we walk confidently towards being genuinely happy? The discovery of our innate joy is a conscious inquiry, art, and discipline. Now, don't let an old relationship with the word discipline throw you, because it is a beautiful word. The word discipline shares the same root as disciple, meaning one who is in the process of being ready to learn. We are all disciples of happiness. So let our practice begin. Genuine happiness cannot be bought or sold. It cannot be forced upon us, nor can we force it upon others. No one can give us happiness or take away our misery. As Paramahamsa Yogananda taught, no one can make you happy if you want to be unhappy, and no one can make you unhappy if you want to be happy. Every individual must give his or her own consent to being happy. Unhappiness is also a choice, evidenced by individuals who are addicted to constant grumbling and complaining. As a simple example of how little it takes to get us hooked, consider pet peeves. Woe unto the person who triggers our pet peeves, whether it's someone who gets in front of us in the 10 items or less grocery checkout line and actually has a minimum of 18 things, or the individual who dashes into our parking space just as we're getting ready to turn in it. We can make ourselves miserable over our pet peeves. We'll even devote 15 precious minutes complaining about each event to the friend on the phone. As Gurdjieff, a Russian teacher and mystic, observed, a man will renounce pleasure, but he will not give up his suffering. Strangely, negative individuals live in a paradox where unhappiness gives them a sense of false happiness. Have you ever had a person affirm your suffering, yet accuse you of being in denial when you indicated you still felt a sense of well-being in the midst of it? Perhaps it's the mindset that gives birth to the saying, misery loves company. On an occasion when I was speaking in the subject of happiness in a conference, a participant asked, why is it that when I do things that are supposed to make me happier, I feel more empty? When I asked him what those things included, he described a long list of activities, hobbies, working out, seminars, social outings, and things of that nature. What is clear, I shared, is that external events are neutral. They don't in themselves produce happiness. It's the consciousness in which we participate in activities that makes the difference. The more we experience the richness of the inner self, the more we bring happiness to the outer aspects of our life. And I'm called to stop here so that we can go within and really think about bringing the richness of the inner self into our experiences as we contemplate these words. We breathe deeply, allowing ourselves to feel into the energetic of experiencing the inner self in the activities of all our affairs. When we breathe, being still, it's okay if you get distracted. Just bring your attention back to your breath. Hmm. Remember to focus on the breath. And just allow yourself to be still and know. Hmm. Just a few more moments in the delicious stillness. And so, as we gently bring our attention to the space where we are, to the virtual sanctuary, we breathe deeply. And we give thanks for the opportunity to keep our appointment with Spirit, individually and collectively as a community. We give thanks that we have said yes and we have honored our sacred yes. So grateful I am to call forth the awareness that God is all there is, and that each one of us continues to live our lives as a perfect divine expression of the Most High, the Creator that sources all things, supports all things, sustains all things. And so I know that as we prepare for service, that we are all here to hear exactly what we came to hear. And our beloved teacher, Reverend Raymont, is able to be a channel as the divine. So I bless the service and I bless everyone who is participating in preparing it, and a special blessing for the technology that allows it to go out into the world across the ethers to everyone in their home. And I give thanks for all our blessings. I surrender to this deep, beautiful place within me where I am connected to everyone here. I give thanks for this time together. And I know that it continues to produce and produce great fruit within me. And everyone here continues to feel the energetic of being in the stillness with the one. And so it is. Amen. Thank you for joining me in meditation today. Service will begin shortly. Richest blessings.
Good morning, grand rising to the people of the sun. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Oh, if there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you'll just call on me, lean on me. It won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Yeah, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Oh, baby, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. Good morning, everyone. In order to help with our method of recording our service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking or participating to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I'm your host, Minister Mo. Our speaker today is our Senior Minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Our musician is Sanahara Ama Chandra, serving as today's practitioner, who led the pre-service meditation, is Dianne Stewart Hamlin. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Dedra Wilcher and Sonya Chavis. Holding things down, working behind the scenes, is Jim Lefter. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you all for your service. Every Sunday here at CSLGB is Invite a Friend Sunday. We ask that you help us spread the love by letting them know to join us. You'll be so glad you did, and we'd be happy to have them. Before Dianne grounds us in prayer, let me share this about her. Dianne is a spiritual counselor, public speaker, and transformational coach. She's a licensed religious science practitioner and Agape licensed spiritual practitioner. Dianne is a facilitator at the Agape University and a ministerial student at Michael B. Beckwith School of Ministry. Her clients seek out her help with a variety of challenges, including relationship issues, couples counseling, career changes, desire for financial increase, spiritual challenges, grief and loss, dealing with divorce, and parenting support. She's a licensed attorney with a practice that is focused on alternative and creative legal solutions. For more information, you can follow her on Instagram and Twitter at STEWHAM, as well as Facebook. Schedule an appointment at dstewham@gmail.com. And here she is.
Thank you, Minister Mo. So I just want to invite everyone to take a breath and settle into this space. So it is with deep and abiding gratitude that I give thanks for the awareness that God is the source of all things, that there is only one power, one presence. It sources everything everywhere, the leaves on the tree, the birds in the sky, every human, every idea, every living thing, the breathing life of the planet, the ecosystem. It is the source that is back and behind all things. It is love, harmony, prosperity, abundance, order. And this presence sources my very life. It sources me, it sources everyone, everywhere. And so this service is source fueled and funded by this presence. And I know absolutely that this service today is infused with the energy of love, prosperity, harmony, and order. I bless everyone that's participating. And in particular, I bless Reverend Dr. Raymont as he comes forth with the message that will set our souls alight and will give us exactly what we came to experience. So I'm grateful to know that everything works seamlessly and effortlessly. The service is good and rich and filled with so much light. We are all blessed for being here virtually, whether live right now or later on the recording. So I give thanks as I release my words into the loving activity of the law. I know the service is blessed. So I just let it be so. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you for uplifting us with that mind treatment, Dianne. The Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. I have some announcements for you. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. On the first and third Monday nights, the Sacred Contracts Book Club, hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. On Wednesdays, the Science of Mind Textbook Exploration Group, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And on Thursday night, the study group is facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. Sign up for our CSLGB newsletter. CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages. Get more news and information by visiting our website, cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com. Are you interested in a community camping trip? A CSL getaway? Sue Italiano is checking to see if there's any interest. If you have it, send her an email to sueitaliano@gmail.com. Are you interested in serving on our fundraising committee? Our chair, Renika Pirametla, would like you to join her to strategize the most effective ways to manifest funding. To get more information, meeting dates and times, and to join this committee, email her at renika.pirametla@gmail.com. Here at CSLGB, you are welcome to join us and become a member. We hold the vision that creating a world that works for everyone is our beacon. So to join us, the Discovery class is available online. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit our website for more information on becoming a member. At the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore, our Ministry of Education has upcoming classes. Foundations of Science of Mind, facilitated by practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. Only one more person is needed for the Foundations class to run. If you're interested, contact Sue Monahan. Conversations about race. This is held every Wednesday, every second Wednesday of the month from 7 to 9 p.m. Please join us for a year-long journey of experiencing racial literacy as a spiritual practice. Love offerings are gratefully accepted. For more information, contact Rebecca Arena Beal at 410-340-4805 or email her bella358@comcast.net. Exploring the Declaration of Principles of Science of Mind and Spirit, facilitated by Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. The dates and times are coming soon. The financial investment for this class is a love offering. If interested in attending, contact Tracy at tracyrimes@gmail.com. For full class descriptions and more information, you're encouraged to visit the website, CSLGreaterBaltimore.org or .com, to find more educational opportunities in our and other communities we're partnered with. Would you like to hear the beautiful voice of Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson every day? Type JOIN, JOIN, to 833-663-9021 to begin to receive your daily inspirations. Prayer works. Wait, let's say it together. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Oh, yes, it does. That's better. We as a community continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Yes, ashe, and so it is. Amen. Our musician today, Lucy Reiki Master and Sound Healer, Sanahara Ama Chandra, has a lifetime relationship with sound. From her roots in Southern gospel and 90s R&B to her journeys through world music, neo-soul, jazz, and songwriting, her heart and soul have shared the healing power of sound. She has released 5 projects and collaborated globally on extensive catalog of projects. On her path of seeking, she has acquired many skills and experiences and brings to sound healing an embodied expression of emotional, healed trauma, and unconditional love. Currently, she's offering daily sound healing meditations on her Facebook page, Clubhouse, and YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/Ama Chandra, as a way to offer healing and guidance during this time of deep transitions. For upcoming events and scheduling, please visit amachandra.com. And here she is.
What a wonderful, wonderful way to receive yourself. I'm just so grateful for the way I listened to myself. I was like, wow, I need to get back to that. Anyway, thank you for reminding me. And it was something to hear my voice, myself and your voice. Thank you. Today, I will be offering a version of The Creator Has a Master Plan. This particular version was adapted by amazing songwriter by the name of Aaron Prentice Hill, AP Hill. So I'm going to be sharing that, and I'll be doing so along with sound bowl accompaniment. And I am grateful to have a moment to share with you. There's a place where love will shine, and rainbows are the presence of a spirit that's so divine, and the glow of that love lights the sky up above. Yet it's free. Can't you see? Come with me. The Creator has a master plan. Peace and happiness throughout the land. The Creator has a master plan for every man, woman, and child. Every man, woman, and child. There was a time when peace was on the earth, and joy and happiness did reign, as each one knew the word. yearn for that spirit's return. So I affirm what's to be. His love expresses through me. The Creator has a master plan. Peace and happiness throughout the land. The Creator has a master plan for every man, woman, and child. Every man, woman, and child. There's a master plan. Peace and happiness throughout the land. There is a master plan for every man, woman, and child. Every man, woman, and child. Every man, woman, and child. Every man, woman, and child.
How incredibly beautiful. Thank you, Ama. As we continue to feel the vibration of the beautiful music, we are now moving into spiritual practice with practitioner Dianne.
Today's spiritual practice is continuing with our pre-service meditation practice of contemplative meditation. The reading be taken from A Testament of Devotion by Thomas R. Kelly. I'll begin on page 72 and end on page 73. Please listen to these words with your inner ear. The sense of presence is as if two beings were joined in one single configuration, and the center of gravity is not in us, but in the other. As two bodies closely attached together and whirling in the air are predominantly determined by the heavier body, so does the sense of presence carry within it a sense of our lives, being in large part guided, dynamically moved from beyond our usual selves. Instead of being the active, hurrying church worker and the anxious, careful planner of shrewd moves toward the good life, we become pliant creatures, less brittle, less obstinately rational. The energizing dynamic center is not in us, but in the divine presence in which we share. Religion is not our concern. It is God's concern. The sooner we stop thinking we are the energetic operators of religion and discover that God is at work as the aggressor, the invader, the initiator, so much the sooner do we discover that our task is to call men and women to be still and know. Listen, hearken in quiet invitation to the subtle promptings of the divine. Our task is to encourage others first to let go, to cease striving, to give over this fevered effort to the self-sufficient religionist trying to please an external deity. Count on God knocking on the doors of time. God is the seeker, and not we alone. God is anxious to swell out our time nows into eternal now by filling them with a sense of presence. I am persuaded that religious people do not with sufficient seriousness count on God as an active factor in the affairs of the world. Behold, I stand in the door and knock, but too many well-intentioned people are so preoccupied with the clatter of effort to do something for God that they don't hear him answering, that he might do something through them. We may admire the heaven-scaling desires of the towering buildings on the plain of Shinar, but they would have done better to listen and not drown out the call from heaven with the clang of the mason's trowel and the crackling of the scaffolding. And so I invite you to take this moment, these few precious moments of stillness, and be still and know. And just continue to breathe and allow yourself to contemplate the words. God through you and as you. Taking a breath. Spend just a few more moments in the stillness as we allow ourselves to become ready. And so as we turn our attention to service, we allow ourselves to hear Reverend Raymond's words. We allow them to fall on fresh ears with the inner attentiveness of a child. We listen, we allow, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Dianne. As we continue to prepare ourselves to listen, I would like to introduce Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, our senior minister of the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume, and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his life and his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and have his being as active, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered. As a member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. With much love, here he is, Reverend Dr. Ray.
Namaste and greetings. Thank you, Minister Mo. So, are you all ready?
Ready?
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that, Tracy. So today we are talking about this idea of G.P.S. I'm sure it's a term you're familiar with, but we're talking about it from the idea that this acronym stands for God Positioning System. How often do you use your GPS, your God Positioning System? It is time to check our inner and outer compasses to evaluate where we are on this path. Do we need to recalculate or recalibrate? What is seeking to be birthed and expressed through us and as us? So pause and breathe and think how you would answer this question. Where are you from? So just pause and think to yourself, how would I answer that? Would it be the city and state I was born? Would it be a particular nation or country where I originated or my family originated? What would be your answer? Well, what about where are you now? How would you answer that? Now, let's add a layer to this that it's not just a physical where are you from? It's not a physical where are you now? That's part of it, but it's also where are you now in consciousness? Where are you now emotionally? And then where are you going, both physically and all of the other stuff? So where are you from? Where are you now? And where are you going? Because we cannot, in the same way that if we're using an actual GPS, global positioning system, in the same way, you have to know where you are and then plot where you're going for the machine to do anything that it's going to do. Right? Same idea. Where are you from? Where are you now? And where are you going so that we can actually move to whatever this next level of consciousness, next level of living, next whatever it is. But we have to be clear. Alexander McQueen said, it is good to know where you come from. It makes, pause and listen to this, it makes you what you are today. It's DNA. It's in your blood. Now, let's hear what he's saying and let it, sort of marinate as we go into Reverend Ray's remix of this quote. Reverend Ray says, it's good to know where you come from. It's good to know you come from the all, in other words, God. It is you and is ever becoming more of what you are today, moment by moment. Its divinely natural attributes are in and as your very being. So it's good to know where you're from. It's good to know what you are in order to anchor and ground so that you are allowing that which is living, moving, and having its beingness as you to breathe you, to inspire, and not, let's be clear, it isn't inspiring you as if you and it are two separate things. It is inspiring itself as you. It is breathing itself as you. Life itself, living, moving, and having its beingness. So not you and it, you as it, okay? Its divinely natural attributes, whatever spirit is, whatever is true of the universe must also be true of each and every one of us. Do we realize that throughout the ages of what we call humankind, we have always navigated either by looking up, looking out, or looking down? We have looked to the stars to guide our way. We have looked to the horizon and sunsets and sunrises to guide us. We have looked at the topography of terrain, maps, mountains, valleys, rivers, etc., to navigate where we are going, what is north, what is south, what is east, what is west. Season changes. We have used these tools since the dawn of known creation. And now we have this interesting thing because it's technology. Like I said before, the Global Positioning System is a satellite-based radio navigation system. But today, we're not talking about this GPS. We're talking about the God Positioning System, which is a soul-based radiance navigation system. That which it is right here, wherever you are. Right where you are, God must be, because there is not a spot, we say this often, there's not a spot where God is not. Right? But do we ever really embody that and say, there's not a spot where God is not, therefore that which it is, that which is infinite, eternal spirit must be right where I am. I can't be absent of it because then I'm the spot where God is not. That doesn't work. Breathe that in. Therefore, that which it is present right where you are sitting, lying, standing, kneeling, walking, bike riding, etc. It is where you are. How often do we allow this idea to move us forward, to move us in our lives? Because when we recognize, same thing with the global positioning system, when we know where we are and we know where we desire to go, we are then able to navigate how to get there. When we know that we are God, God is us, and we know where it is we desire to be, whatever that may be, then we are better able, better capable of navigating through whatever we need to do in life to get, quote unquote, from point A to point B, C, D, E, Z, and start all over again. But we often don't want to know the truth about where we are or where we're going because it means work. We don't want to do the work. So it's easier to bypass and segue and avoid and deny and project rather than ground, anchor, and center. This is where I am. This is where I'm going, period. Click enter. Hello and welcome. I'm your GPS. Are you ready to go? Yep. Now let's go. Ernest Holmes said in the Sermon by the Sea, we have discovered that which is the great, the good. Wait a minute. We have discovered that which the great, the good, and the wise have sung about and thought about. The imprisoned splendor, I don't like that phrase, but the imprisoned splendor within ourselves and within each other, and have direct contact with it. So let's be clear that this great, this good, this wise, it's not imprisoned within us. I understand, and I know there are people who be like, Ooh, you disagreeing? Ooh. Yeah, I am. This is for linguistic convenience that he's saying this. Let us be clear that that which is the infinite power and presence of our being can never be imprisoned. Even if I choose to deny my goodness, my greatness, and this wisdom that is infinite spirit, living, moving, and having its beingness as me, even if I deny it and turn down my light, that cannot ever imprison the truth of its being. Let us be clear. My denial of love doesn't imprison. What it does is imprisons my life experience. It prohibits me from living, experiencing life fully. But that which it is can never be squelched, imprisoned, or made small. That's one of the reasons why, and you've heard me say this before, I don't like that concept of the still small voice. No, the voice celestial, the voice of life is not small. It is not quiet. We tend to be so loud that we don't listen to it, but it is loud and clear. Loud and clear. And when we still quiet our monkey mind, our jibber jabber, our shenanigans, when we quiet that, then the voice of spirit, the voice of, and I'm using this, in a linguistic convenience way, the voice of truth is loud and clear. Loud and clear. And then once again, we have direct contact with it. So if you know me, you know I love comic books, you know I love Marvel. No, Tracy, no. So there's a scene from Doctor Strange where the Ancient One and Stephen are having a conversation. The Ancient One says, because she's showing him various graphs in a book. She shows him chakras, acupuncture, an MRI, various maps. And she says, each of those maps was drawn by someone who could see in part, but not the whole. Stephen says, I spent my last dollar getting here, a one-way ticket, and you're talking to me about healing through belief? The Ancient One says, you're a man looking at the world through a keyhole, and you've spent your whole life trying to widen that keyhole to see more, to know more. And now, upon hearing that it can be widened in ways that you can't imagine, you reject the possibility. No, I reject it because I do not believe in fairy tales about chakras or energy or the power of belief. There is no such thing as spirit. We are made of matter and nothing more. You're just another tiny momentary speck within an indifferent universe, to which the Ancient One says, you think too small, too little of yourself. How many of us are doing that? We are thinking so small of ourselves rather than being willing to step into the vast possibilities that our beliefs create. Because that which spirit is right where we are. So when we anchor and ground to it, it acts in, through, and as us. So our thoughts are its thoughts. Our will is its will. There is no the will of God and the will of Tracy. Tracy's will, because that which God is her. It is showing up as her. So when she chooses to will a thing, today I'm going to go buy watermelon. She chooses to will it, then things conspire by her belief, by her choosing. And it works that way for all of us. Ernest Holmes says, the law of correspondence works from the belief to the thing. If we believe we shall have only a little good will come into our experience. So if we believe, well, I don't deserve, then that belief in not deserving will create the corresponding amount of deserving that we will receive. So when we are connected to not enoughness, then we receive that which is not enough. Now, we as humans, we measure things. There are so many things that come into our lives that we want to measure. What do we measure? How do we measure? And why do we measure? Why? Well, there are a variety of reasons and a variety of ways. We measure distance and quantity and weight. We have a variety of ways to measure and to quantify. Well, let's be clear that everything we do in the physical world as quote unquote human beings is backed by a template, a spiritual template. So if I am able to measure in distance, then that means somewhere in this consciousness, I must also be able to quote unquote measure in distance per se, right? Let's just pause and let that marinate for a second. Simply recognizing that measurement, the ability to measure, is indicating a spiritual practice. Measuring is indicating a spiritual practice. Deepak Chopra has given a formula of spiritual quotient, SQ, in terms of deed, D equals E, ego. According to Deepak, SQ equals deed divided by ego. Now, you can only have, this is his word, you can only have an SQ that equals infinity when your ego equals 0. I got that, but that's, for me, that's vilifying the ego once again. For me, you will only have a spiritual quotient of infinity when E, everything, equals the totality of spirit. Hence the science of mind symbol, that circle, the infinite. When SQ, infinity, equals everything, every experience, the totality of spirit, then we will experience life in a completely different manner. Science of mind says, hence it follows that if we believe that it will not work, it really works by appearing to not work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, then according to principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does. Talk about a paradox. Only it does according to our belief that it will not. So it's always working. Prayer is always being answered. Now, if we think it's not, then what the universe is doing is demonstrating our belief that it's not. So if we want it to, maybe it's time to sit with, maybe I'm measuring my life in a less effective manner. Maybe my God positioning system is I'm trying to measure a cup or an ounce and I'm using a ruler. Maybe I'm trying to measure how far it is from here to the mailbox and I'm using a teaspoon, right? Maybe what I'm using to measure is not as accurate as it could be. In other words, because we measure, we are able to measure. So how do we measure our God positioning system? Get very clear on what do you feel physically and emotionally. Get very clear on what are your interests? What brings you joy? What do you think about anything? What do you think about love? What do you think about work? What do you think about money? What do you think? And what is your life demonstrating? This is the measurements. These are the measurements. These are the methods of, these are the rulers and the yardsticks and the teaspoons and cups. And these are the ways that we are able to identify, where am I? Where am I from? Where am I going? Who am I? Who do I desire to be? When we can answer this in as clear a manner as possible, then we will know. And once we know, we can do accordingly to shift and change. Bhagavan Sri Ramanan, says, Tracy, stop laughing at me, says, God illumines the mind and shines within it. There is only one mind. That mind is God. That's what we say in Science of Mind and Spirit. And that mind is my mind now. One cannot know God by means of the mind alone, meaning our human mind cannot understand the vastness of the one mind. One can but turn, my words, their individual mind inwards and merge with the one mind, life itself, God, spirit, source. Therein lies the concept of metaphysics. I go beyond the physicalness, the emotions of my individual expression and go deeper, go further, go farther, whatever words we want to use. There's nowhere to really go because it's right here, but we use those words, go within, but there is no within that is not without. They are both one and the same. Go higher, there is no higher, for that which God is right here. Dig deeper, there is no deeper, for that which God is right here. But we use those words for linguistic purposes because we like them. But we breathe and recognize that the mind we are using is the same mind that is God itself. Ernest Becker, in the book, The Birth and Death of Meaning, said each of us walks about with a great wealth of interior life, a private and secret self. Now, what this says is when you meet someone, they meet the exterior. They don't know your deepest heart desires, etc. And oftentimes what we do is we shut down what's inside, our feelings, etc. And we only project outwardly what we feel safe enough to project outwardly. But today, let us understand that like the traditional GPS, which cannot get us to a destination or pinpoint our location without access and effective input, our God positioning system, the methods by which we access and pinpoint where we are now, where we are going, what we are doing, what we want to do, and the motive or motivation for it all, it needs our engagement, our active participation. It needs access and input. How are we connecting to the inner, the outer? How are they connecting to one another? It's both and, not either or. So in other words, how are we bringing yin yang to one sense of being? How are we living in an authentic and transparent way rather than masking our lives, rather than hiding our feelings, rather than projecting our anger, disappointment, frustration onto another in ways that are codependent or covert narcissistic? Rather than projecting, let us be direct. Let us be clear in our communication. Let us be clear in who we are and how we show up. Because when we know who we are, where we're from, where we're going, when we are aligned with this concept of God positioning system, where I am, God is, then life shifts in a different way. It moves in a different way. There is a different energy to how we live, move, and have our being. John 4:12. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us and his love is made complete in us. That's what John says. Reverend Ray's remix. The only God any of us has seen is the one made visible to us and through us. It is our love that makes us willing and able to see it all around us. God lives in us, through us, and as us, and all that is, and it, as love, is made complete in our living as love. When we allow ourselves space and grace to love fully, then the love that is God is made manifest. Because let's be clear, once again, there is no God that loves us. That's anthropomorphic and that's separate. God is love itself. So how does God express love? How do you express love? That's how God expresses love. How does Tracy express love? That's how God expresses love. How does the tree express love? That's how God is expressing love. The rain, the sky, the grass, the rose, the puppy, the child, the laughter, the music. All of this, how is God expressing love? Look around you. Look at how nature operates. Look at how you operate. Look at how you either receive or deny love. Because if you deny it, if you have built walls and barriers to it, then God also somewhere, some way is doing the same. And let us be clear, once again, Emma Lazarus and Fannie Lou Hamer both have said in their own ways, none of us are free until all of us are free. If we want to live this life fully, completely in a world that works for all, then each of us is tasked with, invited to, encouraged to do the work, no matter how it feels. Feel it and do the work anyway. That's how we live, move, and have our beingness as spirit. That's how we demonstrate and manifest a world that works for all. This week's journal exercises, etc. Tracy's drum roll. Blah, 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 blah. 1, identify some of the landmarks of your life that shaped who you are now. You know, in the same way that we'll say, well, if you're trying to get to the school, you go about 3 blocks down, you're gonna see this big oak tree that's got this funny looking thing and looking like it's dancing. When you get to that, you make a left. Now you're gonna keep on going down and you're gonna pass 2 fire hydrants. One's red, one's yellow. When you get to the next red one, then you turn right. There are various landmarks. Many people give directions by landmarks, but how often do we look at the landmarks within our own lives to identify what has shifted and changed our directions in our lives? Identify who you were before the major life events and who you became after. So prior to, my skydiving experience when I jumped out of the plane and my parachute didn't open. No, I'm joking, because some of y'all gonna believe that. There are life experiences, college, school, romances, breakups, etc. How did these change you? Who were you before them? Who did you become after them? What practices do you engage in to navigate, to reacclimate, or to recalculate your route based upon who and what you are and where you are going? Do you use meditation? What does meditation afford you the ability to do? Do you ride a bike? Is that a moving meditation for you? Do you light incense? Do you chant? Do you pray? Do you have conversation with people? What do you do that helps you navigate? And maybe that's, how do you access your intuition? How do you make yourself available to the wisdom of spirit that is moving in through and as you? Because there is no, God is wise. I love the fact that God is assisting me in moving through my life. Thank you, Spirit. There's no one. Hello? It's you. Whatever, Tracy, here we go. You. It's you. So what do you do that gives you access to that power and presence that is already right now within you? And then lastly, have a conversation with Cinco. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. She was correct. 5 personas. Have a conversation with 5 people about what are the challenges you experience with knowing yourself as the divine. What are the practices you engage in and the frequency of the practices that anchor you, ground you, and align you with the truth? Eating once a month isn't going to nourish you. Oh man, sorry, Tracy. Going for a walk once a year isn't going to, oh man. What does it mean to you that your outer self and your inner self are aligned? And lastly, how are your inner self and your outer self expressed or expressing truth out in the world? So we breathe and we ground. For this week's declaration or affirmation, I will say it first and together if you feel so called. I am the incarnation of spirit, expressing and being love as me. Together, I am the incarnation of spirit, expressing and being love as me. So we breathe, we breathe, we breathe, we breathe, and allow this love that is the very universe itself to move through us as we open our minds, our hearts, our ears, our being, our eyes, our entirety for someone that we all know. We all know Ama is love personified from the top of her head to the soles of her feet. So we allow that beautiful individual to now come before us and grace us with her gift, her presence, her smile, and her energy. Much love, Ama. Thank you.
Oh, what a wonderful sermon. What a wonderful lesson. I just, I see myself more and more inside of these teachings, and it just feels so good to be regularly with you all. So in so many ways, today's song really captures a moment in my own life where this very tenet you've been teaching from came through as a message. However, you just gave the practice. So it's like, you need to listen to this, and you need to listen to this, and you need to listen to that. We need both together, and it's magic. So I'm going to share Love is Where You Are. And I wrote this some years back, but it still feels really good. And I thank you. Ooh, 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 ooh. I see you in a cloudy space, distant, lonely, silent place. You don't see, no, you don't know. You're like the sun in space, your glowing, radiant face. I need you to know that love is wherever you are. Love is wherever you are. The sun, the moon, and the stars, those near and distant far. No, love is where you are. Send comfort to that starting place where you first fell down from grace. See your heart broken and cold. Oh, your pain you'll use that to grow. Through knowledge, wisdom will show. Your strength you will know. 'Cause love is wherever you are. Love is wherever you are. The sun, the moon, all the stars, those near and distant far. No, love is where you are. Live with the light of a child, hear your voice strong and proud. You are here. All those lies told from pain, shed the fear with the rain. 'Cause you are here. And love is wherever you are. Love is wherever you are. The sun, the moon, all the stars, those near and distant far. No, love is where you are. You are here. 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 Love is where you are. 'Cause love is wherever you are. Love is wherever you are. The sun, the moon, and the stars, those near and distant far. No, love is where you are. Life begins at the beginning. Children don't know how to feel. Love is so freely given. It's your life you must live. And if you open your heart and know that you are worthy, God will bless you to infinity, to infinity. So go on and shine your light, 'cause love is whatever you are. Love is whatever you are. The sun, the moon, all the stars, those near and distant far. Now love is where you are. 'Cause love is wherever you are. Love is wherever you are. The sun, the moon, all the stars, those near and distant far. Those near and distant far. No, love is where you are.
Let us put our hands together with gratitude, blessings, and thankfulness. Love is where you are. So we breathe and we allow that which is love, that which is spirit, that which is source to be present in, through, and as us. So thank you once again, Ama. Blessings. I owe you about 4,629 hugs, so just send me the invoice. So, so we breathe and Tracy's laughing. I don't understand why Tracy's laughing at me.
I'm not laughing, I'm sitting.
So at this point of service, moving into recognizing that God being all there is, then in our process of tithing, donating, giving where we are spiritually fed, it is how God supports, nurtures, feeds itself. Because remember, once again, what did I say? That which is in the physical realm is a demonstration of some spiritual principle. So let us be clear that things like acorns are seeds. Watermelons have seeds. Dandelions, like they're seeds. So what is this saying? It is saying that nature has a way of replenishing itself. And nature is God in expression. So God replenishes itself. There's a system in place, that law of circulation. God gives to itself in nature. So the question is God as itself in this beloved community giving to itself as this community? Tracy says one of the reasons why we tithe and donate is to keep the lights on, to keep things moving, because this is also a business. It is also where we are manifesting, creating, demonstrating the right and perfect space so that we can have all of the things that we say we want: a labyrinth, classrooms, a youth ministry, etc. So part of our tithing and donating is for that purpose as well as nurturing and supporting this ministry where we feel we are at home. For those who may not know, the Practitioner Corps has pledged $25,000 by the end of the year on top of their regularly scheduled monthly tithing. And thus far, as of the 17th of August, $11,950. The community's matching pledge of $25,000 for the year as of July 26th is $1,225. And this is also on top of the community's regularly scheduled tithing. So we anchor and we ground in this idea of what it means to participate in the law of circulation, sowing and reaping, whatever words you want to call it. Karma, cause and effect. Cause is I give. The effect is the ministry grows. Cause and effect, karma, circulating, etc. Conscious spiritual investing. How do I do that, Tracy?
How?
PayPal, text to give, or the postal mail service. If you have questions or want to know how you can divide or allocate a certain portion of your tithe or donation to a specific thing or in percentages, feel free to contact any of us on the board of trustees or contact a practitioner and ask, well, what are some of the things that I can give to? Compassionate care, hospitality, the prac corps, youth ministry that is in the process of being created, the new building fund, etc. And if you want more information, go to cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give. Now, because we recognize and understand that we are all the demonstration of the divine, this declaration of financial wealth and abundance is also declaring our wealth and abundance. We are abundantly healthy, abundantly joyful, abundantly loving, abundantly giving. So together, let us declare, I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathe. Breathe and feel the gratitude that comes up, the thankfulness, the ability to be full of thanks, full of appreciation, full of gratitude. As we recognize, what'd you say, Tracy? Be awesome today. Anchor and ground yourself in what it means for you to know that you are an awesome person. You are an awesome being. And what are you called to do as this awesome person and awesome being? Is be what you already are. Now, just as a reminder, our practitioner on duty today is available for one-on-one spiritual mind treatment. So if you want prayer, type in the chat box prayer. Keep in mind that you don't have to have something that's not going well to have prayer for. You could have just gotten a new job. You could have just found a new boo. You could have found a new dress, a new pair of shoes, zapatos nuevos. And you're like, huh? Or a new tie. And you're like, you know what? I love these shoes. I love this dress. I love the new hair. I love the whatever. And I am open to more and more. Like you can have prayer regarding that, being open to more and more goodness. So type prayer in the chat box and Tracy will make sure she delegates folks to breakout rooms to pray with Dianne. So let us ground and anchor as this moment of service comes to a close. We recognize that being of service, being in service as humanity never ends, never ends, never. Pause and breathe on that, never ends. Why do I say that? Because in our Declaration of Principles, Ernest Holmes wrote, we believe that we are eternal, infinite beings, that this individual soul will forever and ever expand. He says, and I quote, we believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. Being of service, being in service never ends. So we ground and we anchor and we feel the gratitude and we bless one another, we bless ourselves, and we stand in the goodness of recognizing that God is right where we are. We breathe. We surrender this into the law, knowing the law says yes, and we know that this is already existing in the mind of God as an answered prayer. It is already done, so we say, and so it is. Much love and blessings. Tracy's going to get ready to unmute everybody so you can say hello, aloha, hola, konnichiwa, etc. Love up on each other.